Yeah. It is the Ant Green Show. We're back. The crew is back. That is the Ant Green Show podcast. We're here again to give you guys another great episode. And in this episode, we've got some great stuff going on. So we got Harris, of course, Jelanie, and Kenton. We are going to be talking about in today's episode the NBA 2021 playoffs. We have had quite the amount of surprises since the last time we were on. So we're going to get into a little bit of the highlights and really all of the things that have been going on so far. We're also going to review on some of the key matchups to look forward to in some games that are happening now, and then we're going to pretty much give our predictions to who we think is going to make it to the NBA Finals or basically win the chip. And then the last thing we're going to go into today is, of course, our trivia speed round, where each of our co-hosts will be answering 5 questions. We're actually going to be doing it as a group. And basically, we'll have a little bit of bragging rights, but everyone will get a point for each question that they get right. Whoever gets the most points at the end, of course, is the winner. So, of course, today another great episode from the Ant Green Show. But guys, let's jump right into it. The first topic on the agenda, and of course, we've kind of touched on this a few times, so I want to really make sure people understand that this is really a personal based question. However, you could add your facts into it. I know Kenton, you're always pulling up the years. Harris, Jelanie, you guys are definitely very adamant about your picks.
We
But
can't forget about Kenton's rant to the Orlando Magic.
right. Well, Kenton, I mean, that caused a ripple effect. So, hey, man, maybe they had it coming. But, ladies and gentlemen, before we talk about the NBA 2021 playoffs, we will be talking about a topic that has been thrown around a lot, which is the Hall of Fame GOAT debate. Now, this goes for a lot of positions: point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center. And then we're going to also talk about how the next generation of superstars stack up to them. So I guess we'll start with Harris on this one. Harris, a lot of great players have come and gone. What do you see in some of these Hall of Fame players that people consider? Who are some of your picks? Who are your guys?
Yeah, for sure. I know. I'm laughing because Mr. Jelani here is gonna not like where I'm going with this, but no, obviously throughout the history of the NBA, been great players, Hall of Famers throughout. But if you have to round out top five position by position,
Yep.
I think it's just so hard, right? But like you said, it's a personal choice. But I think starting off with the center position, you got to go with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, in that
Right.
center spot. Yeah,
Yep.
and if I'm gonna start in center and go my way
Hmm.
backwards. With the
Sure.
power, yeah, with the power forward position, I would go. And again, my personal opinion. So
Hmm.
sorry if I leave some people out. Yeah, so with the power forward position, I would put Garnett, even though you can
Mm.
argue Duncan or something like that,
Or Dirk.
or Dirk. Yeah, of
But
course.
you could definitely also see like a lot of these players could be in and out, but like to you, why do these players deserve to be there? Like what are some things that you saw? You can kind of maybe mention that as you're talking about your picks. So I know you mentioned Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and that's for great reason. He's all over the record books. Kevin
Yeah, and
Garnett, any reason in particular?
well, yeah, just quickly to touch on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Can't remember who was talking about it recently on one of the panels. Like he had
Mm-hmm.
that sky hook that he used to do, and to
Mm-hmm.
this day, no one's duplicated it for I don't know why. It was unstoppable. I don't know why
It's
people
true.
don't bother implementing it into their game.
Right.
Again, I just only seen the highlights from Jabbar, but everything he did from the NCAA level to the international level to the national level was great. And then
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Garnett, Minnesota, 8 years strong there, and what he did single-handedly keeping that franchise afloat. And then he
Tell me
just,
about it.
yeah. And I think Kobe said it after he retired that he, Garnett was the best shit talker that he ever played against. He just trucked so much garbage, and he just, he was motivated, man. He made his presence feel out there on the court, and he was just great from
Sure.
shooting wise. He can give you free throws, he can give you hard defense, and that's why I got to put him up there with the power forward position.
Okay.
And then small forward position, shooting or slash shooting guard. I mean, I know you can only have one. I'm not going to put both LeBron and Jordan up there, but
Mm.
gotta go with my boy LeBron. Even
LBJ.
yeah, I just gotta go with LeBron. Honestly, I just what this guy's done for the game longevity wise. Fucking year 18, and the stats are there for himself. The level of competition, the LeBron Jordan debate can go on and on and on. But I'm just putting him in there for everything he does, rebounding, defense.
Right.
What is he doing now? Oh, sorry, I'm talking.
Yeah, rebounding, rebounding, defense. He can do everything for you. And like I said, we can go on and on, but when you compare Jordan and who he played in the who he played in the finals, and compared to Hall of Famers and who's LeBron's played in the finals, and the strength of teams, I think you got to put LeBron in there. And then yeah, with the shooting guard position, got to
Mm-hmm.
go with my man Black Mamba Kobe,
Mm,
Hall of Famer on its own. Just 20
mm-hmm.
years, one franchise, 5 chips, and everything he's done on and off the court.
One
I,
franchise.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's very undervalued nowadays. People
Yeah,
don't take that into consideration.
you
Very
don't
few
have to tell me
players.
twice.
Yeah. No, and I think no, not to cut you
Hey,
off there, Harris, but like
yeah, for sure.
Kobe, without question he has to be up there, but I think the loyalty to a
Mm.
team and what he gave to that franchise, there were times, that he could have possibly moved, but I guess in the end it all played out for in his favor.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's tough to go with the shooting guard in this position too, because I know one of my favorite players, Grant Hill. I would have loved to throw him in there, even though he was a little bit of a three and also
Mhm.
played a little bit of the point guard. But again, there's just so many good players to come and go.
Right.
And yeah, and then to go with the point guard status,
Mm.
might come off the wrong way, but I'm not going to put Magic. Got to put Chris Paul in there, man. Like we're
Yep.
talking a true definition of a point guard. You
Right.
go with
Yep.
Chris
Yep.
Paul. The guy does not turn the ball over. He can shoot free throws. He can shoot the ball regularly. I mean, just a little bit injuries. He's been a little bit on and off throughout the playoffs in his career, just
Hmm.
unfortunately. But if I'm talking about a true point guard, Hall of Famer, you got to go with Chris
Impact
Paul.
on the team. Yeah. Yeah.
Impact
Yeah.
on the team, yeah, and that's it. I mean, there's a reason why Team USA puts the ball in his hand as a point guard. In '08 and
Right.
2012. So this guy's just a trio floor master general. So that rounds it out. So just to quickly go from the top to bottom again: Jabbar, Garnett, LeBron, Kobe, and Chris Paul rounds off my top five Hall of Famers.
Got you. All right,
Yeah.
awesome. I have that here. And ladies and gents, it's these people obviously, like Harris said, it's in his opinion, but these players have done nothing less than greatness as we've seen them play. We'll swing it over to Jelani here next. So Jelani, Hall of Fame, GOAT in your books, but also you could back up those facts with whatever you feel is fitting. So you could start point guard to center, or you can go center to point guard. Who you feel is up there and deserving.
well, I was kind of for the point guard position. I had a slew of guys. I had John Stockton, Gary Payton, Tim Hardaway is one. But
Mm,
if I had to go with one of them, I'm going to go with Gary Payton. I mean,
mm,
uh,
okay.
Harris talks about
Okay.
true definition of a point guard, but for a guy that didn't really shoot the ball well, but defensively, right? When you're locking up, those starting, those start, no, sorry, the marquee point guards. Gary
Right.
Yeah,
Payton
Yep.
is right up there. In
for
the
sure.
99, 96 finals, he guarded Jordan, and I mean, Jordan got the best of him, but Peyton
Not too many
still
people
held his
take that
ground.
matchup.
So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For
yeah, at
sure.
6'4", 2 inches shorter than Jordan. He did his part. Shooting guard, obviously, I'm gonna have to go with Jordan, just
All day,
because
every day.
of course, a true competitor, doesn't slack, plays defense, but that's a whole nother
But
conversation
but he
when
but
we
he but he
talk
did
about goats.
but he did lose in the first round quite a few times. Let's not forget.
Hey.
But yeah, yeah, but that's not really the conversation right now. But anyway, point of the matter is that Jordan's a true competitor, on and off the floor. He's the best. He's the goat. You can't go wrong, guys. Enough of this debate about the goat. It's Jordan, hands down. It's Michael Jordan. You
Yeah,
know,
the way he
back in the
revolutionized the
'90s,
game.
everybody wanted to play basketball because of one guy, Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? This guy has more chemistry with his teammates than the rest, unlike LeBron. But that's a whole other conversation that we're not going to have right now, right? So moving forward, small forward, I have Scottie Pippen. Um,
Hey,
Scottie
Scotty.
Pippen,
Scottie Pippen, wow, man.
Scottie Pippen, man, Scottie Pippen.
People forget Scotty
Uh,
made Team USA. Scotty made All Stars.
No, but
Scott,
that's great. But for him to put
He
him
was
in,
he was even in the MVP conversation that year that Jordan took off to learn
yeah,
baseball. So I mean,
of
he
course,
was
it just goes to show you
a
how
good
good the
player.
Bulls were and just how trash Michael Jordan was. But sorry, continue.
Anyways, moving
Scottie
on.
Pippen. Nah, but for real, mad props
Yeah.
to Scotty, man. Like
Yeah, for
people
sure.
people forget, like I think he's a top 50 player of all time.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
You know, so that speaks volumes on him himself. Like he could have contributed, but probably the best two-way player. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So definitely, I respect that pick, Jelani.
Thanks, man. Power forward, I'm gonna go with Kevin Garnett. Like I said it, I believe in earlier podcast. This is the
Mhm.
guy that can guard through the 1 through 5 positions. You know, is very versatile. Can shoot the ball, can handle the ball. So
Mhm.
KG is my power forward and center. I'm gonna go with Shaq. 7'1", 305 pounds. Nobody could stop this guy. Nobody. Even
No
in today's
answer.
game, nobody could stop Shaq. Uh,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah, those are my picks. So just to
I
recap,
agree.
I got Gary Payton at point guard, Michael Jordan at shooting guard.
Mhm.
Small forward, I got Scottie Pippen, power forward Kevin Garnett, and center Shaquille O'Neal.
Very respectable players, and without question, some of
And
them have
I
by
just want to add one
default.
more thing. Since we're talking about goats, again, I hate to keep repeating myself over and over, but Michael Jordan, as great as he was, even though all those years that he lost in the first round, he didn't, call up, Larry Bird or Hakeem Olajuwon,
Yeah.
David Robinson,
He
Yup.
didn't. You're
John
right. He
Stockton,
didn't. He didn't.
Karl Malone. I'm just saying,
He
but
did it his
I'm
way.
just saying, this guy is now, yeah, he did it his way. He's not, messaging Steph Curry or Damian Lillard. But anyways, it is what it is.
Hey.
It's a
He's
different era, but
messaging that National
No.
Guard.
it is what it is.
You know what, Jelani, you made a really good
You
point
with that one,
there.
man.
I actually want to just throw this in before we swing it over to Kenton. And this is something kind of, Kenton, maybe you could even incorporate in what you're saying is, do you think the quality of a Hall of Famer in terms of like the championships, how they got their championships, if that matters or not? Because a lot of people will look back and say, well, this guy has a lot of chips. He may or may not have had a lot of help to do it. I'm not throwing any names out there, but people who are part of super teams, that could be multiple players. The quality of those championships versus the players who stayed loyal and they did what they did and still won at a high level. Just something to consider. Maybe I should have mentioned this in the beginning, and if you guys want to chime in anytime, but that, as Jelani was saying regarding Michael Jordan, he didn't want to be with his competition. He wanted to beat his competition. He wanted to find a way to always be above. So, anyways, I'll throw it to you, Kenton, and hear what your thoughts are.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll start off with my center, and definitely I'll have to go with Jelani's pick and put Shaquille O'Neal as my center.
Yep.
Most dominant
My guy.
center in the history of the game. I mean, there's a reason why he was 7'1", 300 plus pounds. Nobody could stop him. Even as Jelani said quickly, even in today's game, nobody could stop him. They couldn't stop him back then either. So I mean, he's got to be my number one center.
Yep.
You got to look. I mean, you can easily put Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in there, or even Wilt Chamberlain. But I mean, if you look at the domination that Shaq had, in during his reign, and what he was able to do in the peak of his career is
Mhm.
it's unmatched, and we haven't seen anything like that since. So definitely gonna have Shaq as my center there. Power forward, I'm gonna have to go with Tim Duncan, man. It's so funny because I hated watching him growing up because I just felt he was so boring to watch. You know what I mean? Just so
100%.
fundamental and just so
100%.
technically sound. But it's crazy when you look back and you think about what he was able to do throughout his entire career, like
It
what he was
stretched his
able to
career,
establish.
his efficiency, his
Exactly.
win percentage, everything was based off his game. He not only won at a high level, but like he frustrated defenders because he did the basics. He wasn't killing anybody with anything. It was just basic stuff, and it worked.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's just the level of consistency that he had throughout his career. It's like every single season, the Spurs were always they're always competing for an NBA championship or a Western Conference final
Yeah.
during his tenure there. And it didn't matter who his teammates were. You went from David Robinson and Avery Johnson to then Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili and Robert Horry. It didn't matter who his teammates were. It's like he just found a way to connect with those guys and get them to get them into a competing situation.
Yeah.
And for that, I definitely have to put it as my power forward. It was going to be him or Kevin Garnett, but I mean, based on what Tim Duncan was able to do with one team throughout his career with many different teammates, I have to put Tim Duncan. I have to give him the edge on that one.
He has
So
the
I'm gonna go
rings
with Tim.
too to kind of maybe put it
Exactly.
in his favor.
Exactly.
However, both players, man, like ultimate at their position. Like, and KG, even if he didn't have the championships, he was kind of tough situation being in Minnesota. Tim Duncan, right out the gun, he's got the Admiral. I'm
Yeah.
sure a lot of power forwards would been killing it in that position. So, but no,
Absolutely.
he
Absolutely.
still held his own. He still held his own when the team got handed over him from David.
For sure. And I mean, there was a period in time where it was like a 6-7 year stretch where people were wondering if it was Tim Duncan or Kevin Garnett as the best power forward in the game.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
definitely
Facts.
those two are, they're 1A, 1B. They're very close in terms of what they were able to do throughout their careers. Small forward, I'm going to have to go with my guy, LeBron James. I mean, this is fairly simple. And it's quite simple.
Yeah, Jelani,
Wherever
looking
LeBron
Jelani.
James goes,
Yeah, but where is he now? What is he doing now? Playing golf?
it's very simple. Wherever LeBron James goes, you're always going to be competing for an NBA championship. You're 18. First time in his career or second time in his career, he's been knocked out in the first round. I'm not too sure. There's a
First
reason
time,
why.
because the bar is set so high. First time.
Exactly. First time in 18 years.
Yeah, more
Yeah,
help.
look at
More
that.
help. More
Look
help is
at-
coming. Don't worry.
First time in 18 years. Some guys are in the NBA barely have an 18-year career. So I mean, let's look at that and
Facts.
respect it. Let's give him flowers while he's still around. You know what I mean? And people always knock LeBron James, and I find it very unfortunate because you're only going to see a player like this once in a lifetime. You're not going to see another LeBron
Thank
James
God.
come again. So
Oh,
Maybe,
thank God.
yeah, like a player like LeBron.
definitely.
Yeah, it's you know,
The torch will be passed on to Giannis. Thank God.
Anyway,
Oh, sorry, I'm interrupting you, Mr. Lowe. My bad.
I'm gonna have to go with LeBron James for the small forward. At shooting guard, I'm gonna have to go with Michael Jordan. I mean, it was either him or Kobe Bryant, but I mean, for personal preference, I love Michael Jordan. I mean, he was the reason why I started to watch basketball at that age.
Gotta be like Mike.
For me, it's just a more of a biased opinion, but at the same time, he is considered by many to be the greatest of all time, and you know what I mean. It's a global name, Michael Jordan, right now. So I mean, it's
yeah, it
definitely have to
lives
give it
on
to
the
him.
Jordan brand, the legacy. You know,
Like Mike.
Exactly. You know, I mean,
Space
everybody in the
Jam
world was
original.
there you
Yeah.
go. I mean, everybody in the world was playing basketball because of Michael Jordan. He basically put the
Facts.
NBA on a
Facts.
global level. And yeah, at point guard, I'm gonna have to go with probably the unpopular. People may say I'm kind of just riding the wave, but I'm gonna have to go with a guy like Stephen Curry, man. I just feel like with what he's able to do with the basketball,
Yeah.
his range, we've never seen a player like that in the history of the league. And I'm starting to give him a little bit more credit too nowadays. I'm starting to realize his value. I mean, before I used to just think, okay, he's just a shooter, but I mean, he does much more than that, and I appreciate his game and I appreciate what he's done for the league. And I mean, that range. I mean, there's really nothing you can do with that. I mean, you can stretch the floor as much as you want. You can guard him. You have to pick him up a half court if you want to keep putting the ball in the basket. I mean, that's
This guy can literally
I
take. Sorry, Coach, he can literally take care of a team on his own. They kept him
So,
afloat this year. Yeah.
So for that reason, I have to go with a guy like Stephen Curry. Because I mean, in reality, if we're gonna be 100% and keep it 100, he's really a shooting guard. He's really a shooting guard
Disguised.
masquerading as a point guard. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
He's not a true point guard, but
Combo guard.
exactly for somebody he's listed as a point guard. I mean, that's his official position. So if that's what we're gonna call him, then I have to go with him as my point guard and put him in my top 5.
Okay.
Respect, Mr. Lowe. Respect.
It'd be
Respect, man.
Shaq, Duncan, LeBron, Jordan, Stephen Curry.
The flop.
Yes, sir. Great picks, man. Obviously, Shaq, LeBron James, Michael Jordan. These guys have accomplished a lot. The dominance of Shaq, Tim Duncan, Steph Curry, what he's doing now, huge. There's a lot of people that will kind of compare Michael to Kobe, so that's why I could understand why some of you guys, it's like either it's Mike or it's Kobe. But personally, me, like growing up, he completely changed my path in sports, just because of everything he was accomplishing, the story, how he did it from college, getting cut, winning at a college level, dominating these huge franchises. So for sure, for me, Jordan is without question. But I mean, Kobe is a splitting image,
Hmm.
mirror image of him. So you could just pretty much put them together. In my opinion, I would give it a half for both of them in terms of that. Point guard. As much as everyone kind of knows it already, but Magic Johnson, man, at his size and even as a
Yeah.
rookie, he played all five positions. When I think it was Kareem that went down with an injury,
Yep.
that is like incredible. Obviously, had some chips to back it up, and wasn't the greatest 3-point shooter, but I mean, he's giving everything to you. He's
Yeah.
getting people involved. He's running the break. He'll post you up. He'll hit a three when he needs to hit a three, and he might even dunk on you if he's in transition with enough space. So Magic, got to give him props. Jordan, Kobe for sure. I have to agree with Harrison Kenton on this, Jelani. I'm sorry, but LeBron James, at his position, how long he's been producing.
It's okay.
The
Funny.
thing,
You're
the thing,
it's okay. You're a Knicks fan. I don't expect anything less.
you
It's
know,
okay.
hey man, look,
I
it's
don't
it's
expect much from a Knicks fan.
I gotta give it to LeBron because like Harris said, the bar is set so high. There is one thing I will say. There's good to say about LeBron, but the other thing I will say is in terms of the championships he did win. Um, I'm not gonna say he jumped on a super team and just got a championship because of that, but he definitely needed that at the time to at least get in the championship realm. He
I
was
guess.
not having a good time in Cleveland. He wasn't able to attract the players he needed to attract. I mean, a lot of superstars start off that way. Kobe, Jordan, they may have not had a finished team, but they eventually got those players there. So that's the one knock I'm going to say is the championships in Miami. All right, I'm going to give you your chips. But like I was telling Kenton, and I maybe should have mentioned it, the quality of the championship really matters to me. And I feel like if a player is on his respected team and there's role players around him and he finds a way to get the job done, he doesn't need two or three other Hall of Famers on his starting five. I know Scotty is a Hall of Famer, and Kobe did have Shaq, but a 1-2 punch should be enough. You shouldn't go out there and have to recruit a whole other power play. But anyways, LeBron is still
But you
taking the
see,
cake. Yeah, you got
but
something to say, Johnny?
the yeah, the one championship I think I'll agree that LeBron deserves the what was the one he won in Cleveland
Oh,
because
the
he didn't
return to
really
Cleveland
have
for
like
sure.
yeah, that was a really good final.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
without question, that is
he deserved that one.
it
But
goes down in the books.
but can I just say, like, it just sucks that, like, because Kenton was saying it too, like how everyone just shits on LeBron, like Skip Bayless and all these guys. Like we expect like a 36-year-old lost in the first round on a broken ankle, and we're out here saying that he's done and he's washed. Like he was not even supposed to make it here. Like why do we have to scrutinize this guy so much? And KD had that big game, 48 minutes, 49 points. I'm sorry, LeBron was doing that 2 years ago with Cleveland.
Yeah,
it's a great performance. Don't get me wrong, but
I know, I hear you.
why are we all suddenly hyped up over one KD performance? Like, have people forgotten what LeBron did? Like,
It's
so I
true.
don't know, man. They just like putting
He
this guy
averaged
down for.
Because
he
they
averaged
keep
what
comparing with the
36.
do this.
He averaged 36 points. What was it? 10 rebounds and 8 assists for an entire for an entire NBA Finals. And people forget about that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
It's the
it's just
disrespect. It's the disrespect. Sorry,
that's what it
sorry,
is.
sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, sorry.
People just don't want to respect him and give him the respect that he's due while he's still playing. And I find it unfortunate because then people, when he retires, people can be like, oh well, now we don't have LeBron James to shit on anymore.
Yeah,
Now we don't have LeBron James to, you know what I mean, to point the finger out and say ha ha anymore. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But it's just unfortunate.
yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. Like I said, I respect his game, respect what he's done. He's taking my small forward position. I think to me, to get in a Hall of Fame spot, the way you did it matters, because some players you look back and say he has this many championships. I'll just throw this at you guys really quickly. Guys like Robert Ory or guys that were journeymen that just found a way to win championships. Do these people consider to be Hall of Famers?
It's
Because they
a
have
tough
the chips,
question.
they have the experience, and they were clutch, right? So I look at the quality of a championship and certain players, yes, you have to respect what they did. LeBron was doing KD numbers well before KD, we respect him and he had his injury, but LeBron has been producing in the playoffs at that pace. So I'm not taking that from him, but I'm saying the quality of the championship, certain players got those chips, and then we'll look in the record book and say, well, they have this many chips. They by default kind of have to be there. So
Yeah.
would you guys consider Robert Ory a Hall of Fame player?
Uh,
I would not. No.
No?
No, because I think Hall of Fame, you got to look at what you've done entirely, like for the game, how you've contributed to it, how you've impacted it. Like I
like
understand
Ben
Robert
Wallace.
Ory's clutch.
Ben Wallace deserves it.
Yeah, Ben Wallace is Hall of Fame, of course. I'm
Yeah.
not arguing that.
Mm.
But like Robert Ory, like I said, well, I don't know. I'm just pulling these numbers out of my head. I think his career averages is like 7 points a game. Like, like he nailed some clutch shots, but
Whoa, some?
yeah, no, okay, no, plenty of Portland, Sacramento, San Antonio. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, he nailed plenty, but I don't know if that gets you a status of getting into the Hall of Fame. So
Right.
that's my opinion. I don't think he's Hall of Fame now.
It's all good. Anyone, any other thoughts, guys, or just basically that's hard to kind of give him that
I
nod.
don't know, man.
Yeah,
I don't know when you have that Joker, that number one Raptors fan in the NBA Hall of Fame. I mean, how can you leave a guy like Robert Horry out? You know what I
Oh
mean?
man.
That's all. That's what it's going down. That's what it's going down.
this guy had to bring in the race. Had to bring the race card.
No, but like when you have this guy there, like number one Raptors fan, he's in the NBA Hall of Fame.
Number
How
one
can we
Raptors.
say a guy? How can we say a guy? How can we say Robert Horry's not allowed?
I don't
Yo.
understand that one. I don't even
No,
understand.
I don't
I
get
don't
that.
understand.
Like
Well-
to be that ruined the Hall of Fame for me. It's like, come on now, we're bringing in fans. Like a man hasn't like played an NBA minute in his life, and we're putting him in the Hall of Fame.
So
You know?
it's-
Yo,
it's-
nothing
it's gonna
against
become like
him.
WWE.
Yeah.
Hey, he's a good guy.
WWE.
Good guy, but like, I mean, I don't know him from a can of paint. I've seen him before. Harrison, I met him,
Yeah.
but nice guy. But yeah, I mean, I just don't think should be in the Hall of Fame. So if we're gonna put him in the Hall of Fame, you might as well put Robert Horry.
Might as well put Robert Ory, yeah. But that's
You
the thing
know.
now is the Hall of Fame, the doors are kind of going open now. They're
Yeah.
kind of getting a bit wider, and that's kind of why I want to have the discussion with you guys about it. Just to round off my picks for sure, power forward position. I would say it's either KG, Tim Duncan, but I actually don't sleep on Dirk, man. He really as for the big
Yeah.
man position. I have to give him honorable mention. He revolutionized his position, and he was unguardable against a team that had LeBron, Bosh, and Wade, and was playing the way they were playing, which ended up getting him his championship. Center,
Only one in 20 years, man.
yeah, tell me about it, right? And then center for sure, Shaquille O'Neal, most dominant big man we've ever seen. He would do it in this generation and in his own. So that's
But
that.
Rahshawn, I just want to add
Yeah.
something because you mentioned a good point, like the quality of the championship. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's a good example. Like for me, the one that Dirk got in 20 years in Dallas is worth
Huge.
more. Yeah, it's worth more than the two that KD got in Golden State.
Well, that's what I'm saying to you
Yeah,
guys. That's why I
yeah,
threw that in there, because if you look at somebody, even these players that we named, right? I got a lot of KGs. I got a lot of Michael Jordan. So we're not going to argue that. I got a lot of Shaqs, but these guys have the chips, and you know that they put in the work,
Mhm.
and the quality of their championship, they had to go through a harder competition. And if we look at generations, even some people will argue and say, well, Jordan didn't really play against anybody that good in the finals. His road to the finals, in my opinion, may have been harder than some of the players that we named on this list, because
Well,
that era was, he was playing against the Knicks, he's playing against the Pacers, he's getting bad boy Pistons, so
I
that's
don't know
why
who-
the quality of the championship
It
is
matters.
important. And I want to see if you guys would, say, put not an asterisk, but look at some players and say, yeah, but they did have all of
Yeah.
this extra help, because, guys like KD, he won 2 finals MVPs and 2 chips. And now, that's on his record book, but he was with a team that already won before he came there. And he was playing with potentially 3 or 4 Hall of Famers in his starting 5.
Yeah.
So, something to consider. But
Yeah.
you had something
I
else
don't
you were
consider-
going to.
I just wanted to say, like, I don't know who Dirk played in the first round that year, but I mean, he went through Kobe in round 2 and a prime Kobe. Like, Kobe won a chip the year before. He went through KD in the next round, and he beat LeBron and Wade. So, like, this guy went through top tier people to win a chip, and that needs to be
100%.
talked about. Yeah. Sorry, that was all I wanted to mention. Yeah.
No, it's all good, man. And yeah, we're for sure. There's so many people we left off the list, but in our opinions, these are the players that resonated the best.
Hmm.
Um, so the next
Sorry,
thing we're
Harris. They played.
Mhm,
Sorry, Harris. The Mavericks played the Blazers
In the
in the
first
first round.
round.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Cool.
mm.
Cool.
Blazers are always a
then they
gritty
swept
team.
LA.
Yeah, and they swept LA. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a good thing to look back at. So, moving on here, guys, with the NBA 2021 playoffs, we'll just kind of get some touch points here, and we'll also blend the question of today's superstars in that. We'll start with Kenton on this one. Kenton, NBA 2021 playoffs. Wow, I don't think we would have predicted what we are seeing now. If we even go back to the tapes, I guarantee you some of the teams that we would have expected to be there are not there. Give us some of your thoughts, some highlights that you like, and who you think might make it to the finals.
Well, I'm actually, to start off with, I was a little bit disappointed in the Portland Trailblazers. I really felt like the Denver Nuggets were ripe for the taking. I feel like that was a
Yeah,
series that they should have won. If you look at the
yeah,
teams, if you look at both teams on paper, I feel like the Portland Trailblazers were good enough to at least get to the Western Conference
advance
Finals,
to the
maybe
first.
even
Yeah.
get to the NBA Finals.
Mm.
Especially if you look at the landscape right now. I mean, it's pretty bad, man. I was pretty disappointed at the effort they put forth, losing in 6 games to a team with basically the MVP and Jokic and a bunch of
Not much of a
other
supporting cast. Yeah.
G League players and Austin Rivers who's been on like 20 different
MPJ.
NBA teams.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just feel like he should have been able to. I just feel like Dame did enough to win that series. I just didn't feel like his supporting cast really rose up to the occasion and gave him the help that he
Hmm.
needed. Looking at the LA Lakers and the Phoenix Suns series, I'm not surprised that the Lakers lost that series. It's because they had so many injuries, so many question marks going into that series, and Phoenix was just on a great run. I really thought it was going to go to 6 games, and I thought maybe if LA, if certain players could step up, in the absence of Anthony Davis, and perhaps they could have pulled it out. But I mean, looking back, I'm really not surprised that they got eliminated just because of the injuries that they were facing going into the playoffs.
You're not surprised at all? You don't think the
I mean,
Lakers
I
had
mean,
a
it's
good run? I think people are forgetting that the Lakers, they have they have the two best six men that you could have went out and got
oh
the
yeah,
previous
absolutely.
season. They got Andre Drummond in the post.
No,
You
but I
got
think
guys like Kuzma, Caruso,
Kuzma's
Horton
garbage.
Tucker. No, but I'm saying these guys, I just had to throw this in there because this might just get swept under the rug. The Lakers had a good team without Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis going
Yeah,
down is huge, but you're telling me LeBron James and some really good role players and some good defense six men with a guy in the middle like Drummond couldn't really stretch the series against a Phoenix
but
Suns that is really just a 1-2 punch.
Oh,
They have good
but
role
the way
players and they're playing well at home, but matchups. Come on, guys. You know what I mean? I
but
think
but
I'm
LeBron's
not
playing on one
surprised.
ankle, man. Like that was the problem. You lose
but
when they were up 2-1. I think Kenton would agree when they went up 2-1. Like we had them winning the series. We all had, but then AD goes down and LeBron's already banged up. Sorry, Kenton. I'll let you finish the point. I cut you
yeah.
off.
And then on top of that, Montrezl Harrell was only playing like 6 minutes a game. I mean, this is your sixth man. This is a guy you brought in to be that spark off the bench,
I,
and he barely even played just because I don't know what the deal was.
well, that's
Maybe
the thing.
Frank
That's
Vogel
coaching,
wasn't
man. That's
confident in his
coaching. That's the
performance.
environment. I'm just saying, like, you guys got to find a way to get the job done. These guys can't be riding the bench and they're, six men of the year and stuff like that. Like, what's going
Sure,
on in Lakerland, you know?
for
But
sure.
but
But at
then
the
then
same
it's
time,
coming back. Sorry, go no, go ahead, Kenton. Go ahead. Yeah.
at the same time, though, we got to give the Phoenix Suns credit. I mean, they did finish second
Oh,
place
yeah.
in the Western Conference for a reason. They got Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. These guys are young, rising talents in the NBA. And then you bring in a guy like Chris Paul, who's had success in the playoffs when healthy. So I don't think it's fair to dismiss the effort that the Phoenix Suns have put forth because I mean, look at them. They're waiting in the they're waiting at the they're waiting for the LA Clippers. They've been waiting for the LA Clippers for the last week and a half now. So I mean, they've been clearly running through the Western Conference. They were a team that definitely deserves the respect that they've been getting, or the
Sure.
respect that they haven't been getting, depending on how you want to look at it.
Hmm.
But I think I think we got to look at the Phoenix Suns instead of just looking at the LA Lakers and saying what went wrong with the Lakers. I think we got to look at the Suns and say, hey, maybe they're a team that we should be looking at and respecting now.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point. Good point. All right. No worries. Go. You could, did you want to continue on?
Um, what else was I gonna say? Basically, the next series. I mean, I really felt like they were gonna beat the Hawks. I had them winning in six.
Me too.
Same.
Yeah.
I was sipping that same Kool Aid you and Harris were drinking there.
Yeah. You
Um,
finally took
and
a glass, man. Cheers,
a
bro.
Kool Aid. and I had them winning in 6, and these guys let me down. But again, it's the New York Knicks. What else did I expect? You know what I mean?
Yo, but they overachieved. You can't
Yeah,
lie.
yeah.
Even if
Yeah,
they won
absolutely.
one game, they didn't get swept like Denver Nuggets. And this goes out to a Denver
Absolutely.
fan I know. So just saying.
Absolutely. They go. They definitely. I mean, the whole season's been a success. If you really look at
Yeah.
it from top to bottom, the whole season's been a success. If you look at the roster at the beginning of the year and you said, "Hey, do you think these guys are even going to be in the playoff contention? Let alone finish fourth place in the Eastern
Right,
Conference?"
right.
I would have said, I would have bet you as much money as you want because I would have thought you would have no chance of winning.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So and this goes to show you the type of team that they had going into the season and how they finished. I mean,
Right.
am I going to say the future's am I going to say the future's bright in New York? I don't know because again, a lot of question marks around the players that they have. Who knows if they're going to be if they're just one hit wonders, 1 year wonders, or if they're going to actually come back and improve off that next year.
Set
That
the
being
bar high.
said,
Yeah.
exactly. That being said, I mean, I mean, hopefully, it was nice to see the New York Knicks back in NBA basketball in the playoffs in NBA basketball.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It was definitely good to see
The
that
garden back.
that MSG back in the NBA playoffs. And another series that I looked at as well was the Miami Heat and the Bucks. I felt like the Miami Heat, they got swept. I mean, let's call it what it is. I just didn't think it
No
was
more
going to be that
bubble.
bad. Exactly.
Out of
I really think it speaks back to the whole bubble and the whole
Mm-hmm.
idea that people were just it was a bubble mentality and you were that home court advantage wasn't there and I think the Miami Heat benefited from that. Um, and
They
I
got
think that
exposed for it too.
exactly the proof was in the pudding in the first round. So I mean, those were kind of the things that stood out for me so far. Quick notes
Predictions
in the second.
wise. Yeah.
In terms of predictions, I mean, if Chris Paul's back in time to at least game 3, if he's back by game 3, I think the Suns still have a chance to win that series. If not, I feel like the LA Clippers are on the roll right now, and they're probably going to get to the finals.
But is
Um,
Kawhi coming back though?
Yeah,
no, I
that
think
goes
he's
to
out. He's got an ACL injury. I believe
He's,
he's
he's,
out.
he's not traveling with the team. They said that at least for games
Wow.
1 and 2, he won't
Right.
travel to Phoenix. They said that much at least.
Wow.
So, and coming out of the East, who do we
Mm.
have left? We have the Bucks,
Game
Nets,
7 tonight.
or the Hawks and the
Yep.
Sixers. I think. I think the winner of the Bucks and the Bucks and the Nets series is going to go on to the NBA Finals. That's what I think.
Nets in the Bucks series NBA Finals. Okay, so you
Facts.
basically have.
Facts.
So you're saying basically Phoenix is gonna make it to the finals if Chris Paul's there
Exactly.
and the
And
Bucks
then
or Nets. Okay.
winner of the Bucks and the Nets is going to get to the NBA Finals because the way that I look at it is, I mean, I feel like the Philadelphia 76ers have been exposed this round against the Hawks. We know what they can and can't do. We know that Ben Simmons can't hit a free throw for his life. And to me, he is stealing money from the Philadelphia 76ers because you're an NBA point guard and you cannot hit free throws. I mean, that's like you go into a barber shop and saying, "Hey, give me a haircut," and the barber looks at you and says, "I can cut your hair, but I can't give you a lineup." You know what I mean? Like that
I'll
to
just
me, that's
take
like
everything off and that's it.
exactly to me, it's like you're stealing money. You're stealing money. You're not perfecting your craft, and to me, it's like a disrespect. It's a complete disrespect. So
Oh man,
way-
Kenton, you're the best, bro.
either way, the Sixers have been exposed, and I don't think they're going to beat the Bucks or the Nets, regardless if they advance. And then the Hawks, I'm sorry, the clock has struck in 12 on them. If they can manage to pull out a win against the Sixers and go to the Eastern Conference Final, whoever they're playing, they're going to get max 5 games. They're not getting anything more than 5 games.
Yeah,
on that
max
team.
5 games, get some experience and good building blocks for the next season. So that's no, that's good. No, that's all good, man. I hear what you're saying. Those teams like Philly, Hawks, it's been a good series. We'll see how it plays out, but definitely I think the same thing. Phoenix Nets possibility in the finals. We'll swing it to Jelanie here quick. So Jelanie, we'll get your thoughts. What do you think about the playoffs so far, and who do you have going to the finals?
Well, first I want to talk about the Lakers Suns matchup.
Yes.
That game 6. I was watching it, and I can honestly say, I just knew Devin Booker was ready to go off, and just judging from the first quarter, like it was done. It was a wrap for me. When they stretched that lead in the first quarter, I just knew it was a wrap. So, you guys talk about Kenton was mentioning, that nobody expected Phoenix to stretch this series as they did. The way I see it is that Phoenix, they were like more prepared for this series.
Yeah.
with or without AD, like they were ready to play. They weren't ready to,
Right.
leave the first round. So and just the way they pushed the ball, the way they shot the ball, and the way they just they played like a typical San Antonio Spurs. Like they were just ready, and nobody
Right.
had an answer for Devin Booker. So I can honestly say, even like I said, watching that Game 6 game, like they were just they were
Yeah. Very locked in.
they were
Locked in and,
just locked in.
ready. Yeah.
Um, the Hawks and Sixers, I'm not really it doesn't that series didn't really interest me,
Mm.
so I'm not going to really talk much about that one. The Bucks Nets is interesting actually,
Hmm.
and I think that the Bucks are going to win that Game 7.
Wow.
Depending, I don't think, with Kyrie out and Harden not being the same.
He's hobbled. He's hobbled.
Yeah, this is where Milwaukee needs to take the bull by the horn, and like they need
They
to step
have
up,
to.
and
They
like
have
this
to.
this is it, because this is their chance, so I have the Bucks winning that one, and I have the Hawks winning,
The Philly series.
beating the Philly series. So my prediction for the East, I'm gonna go with the Bucks in the finals, and in the
Mm.
West, I'm gonna go with Kenton. If Chris Paul is back, I'm gonna go with the Phoenix.
Solid. Nice. So I like that. So
And
Phoenix
even like
versus Bucks. Okay.
yeah, you see, another thing, Paul George, one of the best two-way players in today's NBA. He got a lot of knocks, a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
choking in the playoffs. But for a guy, with Leonard out, that this guy really stepped up, and I'm really surprised that they actually took out the number one
Number
seed
one
Utah
seed.
Jazz.
Yeah, man.
And even Kenton was right. He wasn't sold on Utah, and I was really shocked. I'm actually not only shocked but disappointed in Utah for the fact that they got swept. I mean, not swept.
You
swept,
can't be
but they
blowing
got
a
eliminated.
25-point lead like that,
So
man.
that's
Yeah.
That is something else.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what's gonna happen there. And even the Nuggets, I'm disappointed. But then again, Jamal Murray wasn't in the lineups, so who
Mhm.
knows what would have happened if you would have had a healthy Jamal Murray, So
Right.
yeah, I really like Phoenix. Phoenix is they're a good young squad. Curious
Looks
to
like
know
it's
what's
their
gonna
time.
happen.
Hmm.
Yeah. Once Chris Paul retires, who's gonna replace him? You got to think about these things. You got to build for the future. But I like this Phoenix team right now.
Cool, man.
They're
So I
they're,
got
fun to watch. They're really
Yeah,
fun to watch. I like
yeah.
watching them.
They're not a joke. They're not a joke.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So I got you here, Jelani. So you basically have Phoenix Bucks in the finals. That's all good.
Yeah.
Harris will end off this conversation here with your thoughts on the NBA 2021 playoffs. What do you think? What do you like? What series were good? And what are your predictions?
Yeah, so my prediction's been off throughout the whole playoffs. I'm doing a playoff poll with Kenton, and I don't think I've been more wrong in my life than I was. I mean, I had the Blazers winning, didn't come through. I had the Knicks winning,
Crazy.
didn't come through. I
The
had
Lakers winning.
yeah, I had the Lakers winning, didn't come through. But then just to touch on the Lakers, because that's a series we're all starting with, kind of.
Yes. Yes.
Listen, they went up 2 games to 1, and they looked good. LeBron was dancing on the sidelines, Drummond was posting up and having fun on the bench. So I mean, if they stay healthy, Anthony Davis, I think they win that series for sure. No question about it.
But they can't beat Phoenix without AD. That's what I really want to
know,
know, guys. Could
but that's
Call
what.
for help.
But you
For
see,
help.
Rahshawn,
you
that's
go.
where I'm saying, like, but you see, that's where we set the bar so high for LeBron that, like, we expecting
Ah.
him on one ankle, 36 years old, 72 days of rest, to come back, like, to lead us against
Yeah.
a number 2 seed. Like that's the
It's okay.
kind
You'll
of
get
bar-
Westbrook next year. You'll get
Okay.
Westbrook. Don't worry.
What I'm
I've
saying
heard-
to
I
you is
heard.
yeah, and like you look, I watched I watched the last 2 games when they got blown up by like 30, 40 points, and I'm watching that Game 6 where they lost, and like LeBron's playing the heavy minutes. The first time in my life I saw LeBron ask a coach to sub him out because he was too tired. Like this guy's doing it all, and he's passing the
Yeah.
ball, and you have a ham sandwich and Kuzma receiving the pass. Like what would like what do you
Kuzma's not that bad, bro. Check his season averages. Kuzma's he's not no Scottie Pippen, but
and
Thing with Kuzma
yo,
is
look at the
garbage.
matchups.
Thing with
Look at the
Kuzma-
matchups.
The guy is
very
garbage.
quickly though. Very quickly, the thing with Kuzma is when you expect him to
Right,
produce or when
right,
you
right.
need that from him. When you need that contribution, he's not there. But like when they're up
Yeah,
like 10 points, when they're up 10 points and it's garbage time, he'll light you up for like 25.
I'm
that's
sorry, Harris.
yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I'm
No,
sorry.
and then you look and you got a 1 for 10 shooting Wesley Matthews giving you the bow and arrow. Like, I'm sorry, man. Like, I felt bad for LeBron, but just to say, just to get to it, I mean, I think I think like Kenton said, I wasn't surprised. Like, I was surprised that like once AD got injured, okay,
The
like
series is not
It was a
over.
wrap.
it
It was
was
a wrap.
it was
I
for me
don't
that,
think so, man.
but
Why
that's what
didn't
Phoenix
Vogel,
was
man?
too. Yeah, but Phoenix was too ready. They were ready. They were ready.
yeah like listen
Phoenix was ready, man, but you have a guy like Frank Vogel, Jason Kidd on the sideline. You got good pieces there. You can make the adjustments. You have the best guy, LeBron James. I'm sorry, guys. I know you're saying Phoenix was ready, was their time. I agree. But the Lakers should have put up way more of a fight and should not be getting blown out like that in the first round.
you know
Come
what?
on, guys.
If
Phoenix
LeBron is
shot the
not
ball
healthy, if
better.
LeBron is healthy, maybe I feel like maybe I agree with you. If this guy's 100%, okay, he could have been giving us that. But you can see it in his movement. Like he wasn't the same, man. Like he just couldn't drive as hard, take off on that ankle. But
Hey,
I
man.
mean, like I said, the bar
Everyone's
is set
playing.
so high.
Everyone's playing
So
with
they'll set it so
injuries.
high then.
Yeah,
They'll set it so high.
Yo,
Too high expectations.
yeah,
everyone's
That's what
playing through
happens.
injuries. Everybody's
yeah,
got knickknacks, patty whacks.
yeah.
I'm not saying an ankle injury is no slight injury. It limits your
The
mobility.
guy missed 26 of the past 30 games, like and important ones too. So something was wrong with this guy. Like, you know,
That's my take on it. I
no, no,
just
for sure.
think the Lakers roster. You look at it on paper. Whatever, man.
This guy.
I know KCP wasn't there either a lot, but anyways, Harris, I'll let you finish
Yeah.
it
Sorry,
off.
Harris.
No, no,
I mean,
and then
if
also
you
like we're sorry, go ahead. Yeah, you go ahead.
sorry, I just want to quickly just say one point. I mean, before AD and LeBron started with their injuries, they were in first or second place. They finished the season in like
Yeah,
in seventh. So
Yeah,
that just goes to show
yeah.
you how much of a difference those two players made. If they didn't start this season, who knows? Or if the season was season was a little bit longer, they might not have made the playoffs. If it was, you know what I mean?
Yo,
If those two guys were out, so that just goes to show you how good is that team really? You know what I mean?
3 words, man. Next man up.
well, I'm sorry. The next match.
Guys
What
need to
next man?
play. You guys,
Like,
yo, man.
Next man, we're looking over here at friggin' guys like Alex Caruso and talking about next man. Come on now.
Yo,
Tucker.
man.
Tucker.
Next man up, man.
bow and arrow,
Who's
Wesley
next man?
Matthews. Like, come
Who's
on,
next
man.
Quinn Cook or
Horton
or
Tucker. Like, come on, man.
Horton Tucker,
uh,
Yo,
man.
these guys were balling out in the season. What are you
No,
talking? Yo,
no, but in all honesty, yeah. Like I just think that let's not forget that Phoenix was a number 2 seed, 50 wins,
They
and
shot
I
the
just think
ball.
yeah,
yeah,
they
too
shot
well.
the
yeah.
ball well.
Listen, don't get me wrong. I was not
Jay
expecting.
Crowder.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
sorry.
Listen, Rahshawn, I wasn't expecting a 40-point loss in Game 5 and to come out flat in Game 6. Like I expected much more fight. But Jay Crowder, who is this guy to do the salsa dance? Like, has he
I
forgotten that
know.
LeBron has owned him in the last 5 years in the playoffs? Like, are we forgetting?
On multiple teams.
And he
Yeah.
got ejected for that. Come on, man.
But anyway,
Come
so that
on.
was I was wrong about that pick too. But just to touch quickly before I give my predictions about Kenton about the Miami Heat, I think I won't write them off yet, only for the fact that they had the bubble season again, short rest. They were tired. They fizzled out. So let's see next year how they respond to that. If next year
Mm.
it's the same thing, then okay, we knew it was maybe a one hit wonder. So I'm not gonna just abandon them yet, but I did not expect them to get to be swept. That's for sure.
Swept.
Yeah, I was not expecting a sweep. I had the Bucks in 6, which was my prediction for that, but the sweep was something else. Yeah, Jelani.
Yeah. Sorry, this is off topic, but what's with Thibodeau not getting Coach of the Year? Like, yo, that doesn't
What
make
was
any
what?
sense to me.
I'm okay with Monty Williams. Monty Williams had a much to me. Monty Williams did a great job.
Yeah, but come on, the Knicks. No
Arguable.
one expected him to get to the playoffs. Come on.
Yeah. Tim Thibodeau did something that no one thought would
Jeez.
happen unless
Yeah,
they
it's
had
just the expectations
superstars.
were so low. Yeah,
Like the Suns, it's expected. You know, come on.
that's
you have
right.
Chris
The
Paul,
Suns
you
were
have Booker.
expected to do were predicted preseason to
Robbery.
yeah.
Robbery.
But yeah, so Judge, we're trying just to nail out my picks as we move forward.
Mhm.
So for tonight, Game 7, I like the Nets, just the fact that it's at home, and I think KD and
Right.
Harden's banged up and hasn't been moving that well, but I think I don't see them slipping that up at home, so I got them coming out there.
You
And
got
then
KD scoring more than 40 points?
Uh,
Man
you
played
know,
every single minute.
I think yeah, I'll say yeah, I'll go with the bold prediction. He scores over 40 tonight
Okay.
and gets them to win.
Okay.
And then on the East side, same thing. I like Philly at home only because they're just such a good home team. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna go
Yeah.
with them.
Okay.
But then, like Kenton said, in the finals, and Stephen A. Smith has touched about it all year. Ben Simmons shooting is gonna hurt the Sixers, so they won't
Big
beat
time.
Brooklyn. So and then coming out in the West, even if there's no Paul for the time being, I still think that
They have enough.
the Suns can beat the the Clippers. So I'm going to go with the Suns and the Nets as my finals prediction. But like I said, I've been wrong plenty of in this playoffs, so I wouldn't be surprised if this doesn't fizzle out. But yeah, no real surprises. Very disappointed in the Blazers, honestly. This guy Kenny couldn't have touched on it more. Like I don't know what it was. I think he had 55 or 60 points, but like
You might get him, man.
you can't
Don't
do
be
that
surprised.
and lose, man. Like you got to give this guy some help. Yeah,
Time's up.
like like CJ McCollum steps out of bounds on that final, like one of the final plays. Like, come on, man. Like you got
Court
your
awareness. You got
oh
to
my
know
God.
what's going
Yeah,
on.
and me
Pulling
like
J.R. Smiths.
and yo
Time's up.
Melo's my favorite player. I love him more. Like I like him more than LeBron. He's my top guy. But like I'm sorry, Melo. Like yo, like you wanted that chance. Like yo, you got to nail some shots, man. Like you're putting
Yeah,
up
yeah,
some
yeah. They took a
some
chance
crucial
on you. You
points.
got to show up.
So
Oh,
I
shit.
just felt like they left him out to dry, and I felt bad for Lillard. And this guy just balling his heart out. And yeah, other than that, that was my real big my real big surprise. I was surprised too with the Bucks. Like when you have no Kyrie and Irving in games 1 and 2, and you lost by like
Man.
points.
Doesn't make sense, man.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
But
So
you
I
know
don't.
what? Quickly to touch on the Bucks as you brought that up, the same way you guys are kind of talking about Ben Simmons, let's not forget that Giannis Antetokounmpo is not a great three-point shooter, not a great
Yeah,
jump shooter, and also not a good free throw shooter. He
for sure.
just has the length and running downhill at you, the Euro step.
He gets
So
their three
that
step.
might actually hurt them in a game 7 game today where it's like you might need a jumper because you might not be able to get to the basket, or somebody's
Yeah,
going to be waiting like a Jeff Green or Blake Griffin to draw a charge. I'm sure he gets like 2 or 3 charges a game just because he's just a raging bull. All
hmm
he does is just try to trample his competition, dunk on them, or lay up around them.
yeah,
So let's not forget, even though he's a
To me,
Did you
two-time
guys see that when
MVP.
he was
I gotta I
when he
gotta say
ISO'd
though,
Blake Griffin? Did you guys see that highlight?
Which one?
no.
When he tried to ISO Blake Griffin, yeah, tried to
Oh
do some
yeah, yeah,
dribble.
yeah,
Yeah.
To
yeah.
me, the
He's
difference
trying.
between a guy like Giannis and Ben Simmons is okay. If you leave Giannis open all game, he will attempt to shoot threes.
yeah,
He may
Yeah.
hit like 20
Facts.
or 10% of them, but I mean, he will shoot them if you leave him open.
Right.
Ben Simmons, guys will be waiting for him almost within the charging box, okay? And this man will not shoot the
Yeah, yeah,
three.
yeah.
yeah.
He
It's
doesn't
To
want
me,
the
that is
embarrassment.
ridiculous. He
it's
does
yeah, it
not
is.
want the ball in his hands because he does not want to go to the free throw line.
Yeah,
That is
yeah,
a
yeah.
liability.
Giannis did that too,
Now,
though, and well, that's what Charles Barkley was saying in game. I believe it was game 5 when they had a chance to. Chris Middleton got in the paint and handed Giannis the ball. They were saying basically he fumbled it and he wanted to get the ball out of his hands so quickly that he didn't get a grasp on the ball. And Charles Barkley was saying he was also afraid of going to the line because not only does he take a long time to shoot it, he doesn't hit it. So
Mhm.
I see what you're saying. He
Yeah,
will attempt to take some shots, some questionable. Like you're posting up James Harden, and I heard someone I heard one of the commentators say, "Oh, James Harden when he had Giannis in the post in the fourth quarter was like, yo, I don't need no help, I got this." Like
hmm
as Giannis Antetokounmpo, 2-time MVP, yo, you need to back this guy down and get a bucket. You're
yeah,
playing against a hobbled James Harden, and he's telling people, "I don't need help to guard you." So
yeah.
Giannis,
Something.
there's some questionable stuff about him too. Turn around Jays, pull up from 3 because he thinks he's KD. 15 seconds to shoot free throws. They said it was like 3 minutes that it took him
And 50,
total for all the free throws that he took. Like people got things to do. You know what I mean? And people are
and
spending good money on these games. They shouldn't be waiting watching Giannis 15
yeah,
seconds. That's a lot of time out of a game.
for sure.
So, anyways, that's
and
my
one
one
quick
take on
and one quick point
the
I wanted to
difference.
make in
Yeah,
regards to Giannis. Okay, um, Game 5, you have a chance to go up and take a game in New Jersey and go back home to
oh
Milwaukee up
my God,
three
don't even get me
three
started
two,
on that. Yeah,
and KD goes off for 49 points. As
Yeah, yeah.
Giannis, you're the defensive player of the year. You need to go and you need to say, Coach, I don't give a shit about what the coach is telling you to do. Oh, I only do what the coach tells me to do. I don't give a shit. You're a defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
You go to your coach
Yeah.
and you say, Coach, this
That's
guy's
my
going
guy.
off.
Yeah.
I'm on him. All
Yeah.
right. Everybody else,
I
clear
agree.
out. I got this guy.
Yeah.
You're the defensive player of the year. This guy's going off with 49 points. James Harden is James Harden in presence, because we all know he
was a
wasn't James
decoy.
Harden.
He was a
He was a decoy. He was literally a pylon. You could have put a pylon there. It would have had the same effect.
Could have put
And it-
Kuzma there. And what?
Exactly. KD is going off as a defensive player of the year. I'm sorry, Giannis, you have to step up and say, listen,
49 points.
players, I got him.
Yeah.
You can't be off in the corner guarding whoever just because the coach is telling you. You can't leave that up to PJ Tucker. I mean, PJ Tucker's a great defender, but if he's getting lit up, you got to move him out the way. You're the defensive player of the year. And
Yeah.
on top,
Very good
and
point.
back to Ben Simmons, the Philadelphia 76ers could have had James Harden, but they didn't want to get rid of Ben Simmons. How stupid does that decision look right now? That's all I got to say about that.
Got that right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yo, man,
And the Miami Heat could have had James Harden. They want to get rid of Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero.
they got Oladipo. They got Oladipo, and he got hurt before the playoffs.
Yeah, but Oladipo's always kind of
Who?
injury prone. But anyhow, yeah, man. So
No,
Yeah,
honestly, very, very interested to see what happens going forward in the playoffs. Game 7 tonight's going to be interesting, man. I really, personally, I think I would rather see the Bucks win. I think the Bucks will be like a little bit better. They're supposed to, man. On paper, they have the guys, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Brooklyn win at home. So we'll see how it plays out. But my finals predictions, if Kawhi could come back and Chris Paul stays hobbled, then I might like the Clippers coming out the West.
mhm.
And in the East, depending on tonight's game, I think I just have the winner between the Bucks and the Nets. I don't think Philly will get it done, and I think Atlanta's too inexperienced. But yeah, that's who my thing is. I think I might actually go with Clippers and Bucks or Nets.
Cool.
But we'll wait to see how that plays out. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are almost finished the episode. We are now going to finish off with our trivia speed round. We're going to fly right through this, guys. So 5 questions, NBA trivia questions.
Let's do it.
I'm going to give you guys 10 seconds to think of the answer. And I'll go around and ask everybody's answer. Person with the most points at the end will be considered the trivia king for the show. All right. So we're going to start off with something easy here, guys. Hopefully. But first question is, which NBA team holds the longest championship streak? So which NBA team holds the longest championship streak? So championships in a row. We're on the same page?
Oh, I already know this
All
one.
right.
Me too.
So
I
is it
think, I hope
the
so.
LA Lakers,
Nope.
the Boston Celtics, or the Philadelphia 76ers? 10 seconds on the clock, starting now. Which team holds the longest NBA
Celtics.
championship?
Did we just
streak?
spit out our answers or what? Or
Nope. And we're good. So basically, I'm going to run we have the 10-second timer.
Okay,
so I
okay.
have the 10-second timer here. 10 seconds is up, and I'm going to go around to everybody for their answers. So we'll start with Jelanie. Jelanie, which team holds the longest NBA streak? Lakers, Boston or
Celtics.
Philly?
8
Boston?
championships in a row in the 60s. Thank you very much.
yeah,
All right. Harris?
same thing. 59 to 66. The Celtics.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. And Kenton?
Celtics.
Celtics. All right. The correct answer is the Boston Celtics. You are right. 8 straight championships, 1959.
8, Harris. Try to be 8. Okay?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, when you play against plumbers and 14 years, anyone can do it.
Yo,
I
man.
don't choose this.
And when Bill Russell's the tallest guy on the court, like nobody close to him, it's just
Yeah.
like peach basket. Like, yo, just
Yeah.
I'm gonna reach the high cupboard up here and just put this
Here,
in there.
we can follow the game here too. 3-0 Brooklyn.
3-0 Brooklyn.
Bucks,
We're
yeah.
gonna get to it. Don't worry.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, guys. I'm gonna make the time a little bit quicker, just in case guys might be doing a couple extra checks, because those answers are pretty accurate, 1959 to 66. But I mean, if you know that, Good.
No,
For
here, I'll
you.
keep my hands right here.
Hey, I'm just making sure everybody's
Yeah.
the trivia off the
Yeah.
top. So everybody's got 1 point. Boom, boom, boom. Next question: who is the only NBA player to win an NBA Finals MVP on a losing team? Only NBA player to win an NBA Finals on a losing team.
My
Is
hands
it
are up.
LeBron James, Bill Russell, or Jerry West? All right, we'll go 5 seconds on the clock. 5 seconds starting now. All right, only player to win a Finals MVP while on a losing team. All right, so we'll go with Kenton starting here. Kenton, only NBA player to win a Finals MVP on a losing team.
Well, I know it's not LeBron James, and to be honest with you, I don't know the answer off the top of my head, so I'm going to say Jerry West.
Jerry West. Okay, and Harris, we have LeBron, Jerry West, or Bill Russell.
Jerry West.
Jerry
69,
West.
I think it was too, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, and Jelanie.
Jerry West.
Jerry West. The correct answer is Jerry West. Kenton, you got lucky on that one. I feel like you would have went with Bill just because he had the chips, but
Well,
he
I
got the
I know-
chips.
Oh yeah, it's true. Exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. He won. So
Well, let's not forget
yeah.
LeBron was robbed in 2015. This guy should have won the finals.
Let it go.
I thought somebody might have said it, but I knew you guys kind of knew enough, and it was
Yeah.
between Jerry West, Bill Russell. But hey, you guys all got that. So everybody, three-way tie. All right. Next question will go here. Maybe this will throw somebody off. Which Olympics did the quote-unquote dream team compete in? Was it in the Olympics in Atlanta, Georgia, the Olympics in Barcelona, Spain, or the Olympics in Sydney, Australia? So I'll put 5 seconds on the clock starting now. Which Olympics did the dream team compete in? Atlanta, Barcelona, or Sydney, Australia? Okay, time's up. We'll start with Jelanie here. Jelanie, which Olympics did the dream team compete in?
Barcelona, sorry, 1992.
Barcelona. Okay. Harris.
Same thing, Barcelona 92.
Barcelona. Okay. And Kenton.
Barcelona, Spain, 92.
Correct answer is no, joking. Barcelona, Spain,
okay.
92, the original dream team. You guys, I figured some of these history. I thought one of these questions would have threw somebody off, just to at least somebody get a 2 point and everyone else is 3. But everybody's at 3 points here, so we'll see if the last 2 questions somebody chokes up. So, second to last question: which country was head coach Steve Nash born? Which country was head coach Steve Nash born? Was it in Denmark, Canada, or South Africa? So 5 seconds on the clock. Which country was Steve Nash born? Denmark, Canada, or South Africa? 5 seconds starting now. Steve Nash, man, where was he born? Where was he born? All right, time is up. We'll go with Kenton on this. Kenton, where was Steve Nash born?
So Steve Nash grew up in Canada, but he was born in South Africa.
Okay, so South Africa is your pick. Harris?
This is an easy one. We're talking Canada's own jokes. Yeah, Johannesburg. Yeah, South Africa. South Africa, yeah.
South Africa, okay. And Jelanie?
Mama Africa.
Mama Africa, South Africa. The correct answer is Johannesburg, South Africa. February 7th, 1974. I thought maybe somebody would have went with the Canada kid. I don't know if Kenton was looking at Google there. It looked like he was staring at a screen, but that's actually what the answer says. He grew up in Canada but was born there. So seemed pretty crazy that he had an exact answer for the exact answer. But hey, maybe Kenton just knows his stuff. So
But I gotta keep it 100 for people who are thinking, okay, well, how does he play for Team Canada and NBA
Right.
play for Team Canada? But he has that Canadian citizenship because he grew up in Canada, so I gotta give that full answer, you know.
all right, I'll throw a bonus question onto this. Which city did he grow up in Canada? I'll give you guys 5 seconds. Who could give me that out? Which city in Canada did Steve Nash grow up in? Go, Kenton.
Victoria, BC.
All right, Harris.
Yeah, BC.
Baba.
Jelanie?
Same thing.
Same thing. All right, cool. So you guys got that one too. Just
Yo,
making
you know what
sure.
you know what you should ask? Well, let's just for fun. Yo, what do you guys know what college you went to or university?
Santa Clara.
Okay, yes, everyone knows the Steve Nash.
Santa
stuff.
Clara, yeah. Everybody knows Steve Nash. I was hoping so because, hey, man, that's probably the best Canadian in the NBA that we've had. So
Yeah.
good that you guys know all of that. So good on
Yeah.
you. All right, last question here.
Wow, Giannis just splashed to 3-2. What are the chances of that?
Bro, game 7's anything can happen. All right,
That's
maybe you
one.
guys will
That's at
get.
least one more than Ben Simmons all playoffs.
Yo, tell me about it, man. Ben Simmons, holy moly. All right, guys, last question. Which of these three players went straight from high school and got drafted first overall? Number one pick. Was it Tracy McGrady, Kevin Garnett, Sean Kemp, or Kwame Brown? 5 seconds on the clock.
Yo, can you repeat the question? Actually, yo, the first player or what was it?
Which of these players went straight from high school and got drafted first overall?
Oh,
So they
first
left high
overall.
school, but they were the first overall pick.
Okay.
All right. Tracy McGrady, Kevin Garnett, Sean Kemp, or Kwame Brown. 5 seconds. Starting now. Should be an easy one. I'm sure everyone's gonna
I
get
don't
this.
know. I think I'm but
We'll see.
yeah.
We'll start with Harris on this one because I like that we're gonna get maybe a possible not clutch, not
Yeah.
good answer, but we'll see. So who you got out of those players?
Think I'm gonna have to go with Kwame Brown.
Okay. And we'll go with Kenton next. Kenton.
Mr. Bus Life, Mama's cooking himself, Kwame Brown.
Okay.
Kwame Brown. All right. Maybe. All right. And Jelani.
Kwame.
Kwame. The correct answer is Kwame Brown. Kwame Brown, 01 draft class, number one pick, right out of high school and right out of the league, if you ask me. No, I'm kidding.
But yo,
Kwame had a
where did Garnett and McGrady go though? I don't know their draft order.
Garnett was like fifth, I believe. Farragut
Okay.
High School in Chicago.
yeah, Garnett was fifth. Yeah, and McGrady was ninth.
Okay.
Yeah, but definitely first round. Definitely out of high school, but surprisingly, out of all those names, number one pick was Kwame Brown. So you just never know what you'll learn, guys. We all got 5 out of 5 questions, so we're all trivia kings tonight. But
There you go.
some of those answers seemed like they were very scripted. Not saying Kenton read off of anything, but I saw eyes on a screen as the answer was being read, and it wasn't looking at the camera. But whatever, you got the answer right. You knew your stuff. So good on everybody for getting those questions. Ladies and gentlemen, this does conclude the Ant Green Sports Podcast. We're coming to the end of the season. We're going to have a wrap-up final episode coming to you guys soon where we're going to recap everything, give you guys some of our best takes. But I love that everyone has stuck with us. So thank you all of our fans and supporters for watching, for liking the videos, sharing it with friends. And please, out of all the questions we had, don't feel shy to give us your GOAT or Hall of Famers, and also what you think about the NBA playoffs in the comment section. I'd like to thank the co-hosts today, as always, Jelanie, Kenton, and Harris. Please make sure to follow them on all their social media platforms. They have a lot of great stuff going on in their personal life. And then, of course, make sure you are following the Ant Green Show on all social media platforms. My name is Rahshawn, aka Mr. Greenheart. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. Until next time, peace and stay blessed.